Good afternoon and welcome to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. It is time for some WBBL action between the Manchester Met Mystics and the Nottingham Wildcats. I'm Kaz Bullock here with you throughout today's game. We're about 4 minutes away from tip-off and then we'll get things underway. So the Manchester Mystics currently 0-13 in league play this season, still looking for that elusive first league win of their campaign. Obviously had quite a tough season so far, some injuries, players being out, players having left the squad, and only had probably around 2 or 3 games with the actual full lineup. So it's been a difficult season for them so far, but eyes are definitely on today's game. Can they pick up their first win against Nottingham? They played Sevenoaks last weekend, where we saw another huge performance from Sam Keltos. She had 28 points, 11 rebounds and 6 assists. It was her 7th 20-plus point game. She has been having a phenomenal season for the Manchester Mystics and very, very excited to see where her career takes her. She's a very exciting player, a big that likes to play as a guard. She can shoot the three, she can go inside. Real all-round player, and has just been an absolute credit to this Mystics team throughout the season. And looking at Nottingham, so Nottingham, they last played against Newcastle, a 67-47 loss, but they were led by 14 points from Kennedy Nicholas in her second season in Nottingham, and she leads the team in rebounds with 13.4 per game. Unfortunately injured for today's matchup, so she will not be in the lineup. If we have a look at how these two teams match up, quite similar shooting wise. Mystics slightly edging it with the Wildcats edging it very slightly with the 3-point percentage. We know but both teams like to shoot the three, and we've seen Shea Sanchez for the Mystics go off a few weeks ago, hitting 5 3-pointers in a game. So that is definitely going to be something to look out for today. And having spoke about Shea Sanchez, she's having a great season as well. 14 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and she's been real crucial for this Mystics team as well. She's such a solid player defensively, and man, she takes some charges. She takes some tough charges against some of the big players in this league, putting her body on the line for this squad. So definitely a player to watch out for if you haven't seen the Mystics play before this season. So Nottingham with a bit of a shorter squad today. Some of their key players out injured. Bray Ashton and Janae Giles alongside Kennedy Nicholas as well. So they have some replacement players in the squad. Some from the WBBL Nottingham Wildcats Academy. Obviously a great academy, a great programme that's produced so many fantastic players and had a lot of success at various levels throughout this country. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Always good to see some younger players getting a chance to play at this level, gain that experience, and come up against some of the best players that we have in this country. The Mystics as well, obviously, as I said, some injuries, some players who have left this season. They've got some young talent on the squad. Joe Voliotis will be heading over to the States in September. She's a knockdown 3-point shooter, having a great season in the WBBL alongside her teammates Isabel Robinson and Alejandra Escriva-Gay. And it was so great to see Maisie Keys hitting her first WBBL points of the season a couple of weeks ago against the Sheffield Hatters here in Manchester. So if we look at the starting lineups for both teams, for the Manchester Mystics, it will be Shea Sanchez, Sam Keltos, Claire Abbott, Abby Nihus and Leah McDermott. And for Nottingham, Macy Cook, Natalie Charity, Kayla Shaw, Mari Stewart and Imani Whittington. So we're just checking with the table. We think we might have a slightly delayed tip. We'll just find out for you. So we're back shortly. So welcome back. We've just got confirmation there is a slightly delayed tip. There's an issue with the shot clock. So we're currently expecting the game to tip off in around 10 minutes time, which is going to take us to around 3:15. It shouldn't be any earlier than that, but stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. And hopefully we can get the shot clock sorted out soon. Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll provide an update when we can. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We have a slightly delayed tip due to a shot clock issue in the court. So we're going to try again. Tip-off will be in just over a minute's time. So we've got the Manchester Met Mystics taking on the Nottingham Wildcats. Starting fives for the Mystics: Shay Sanchez, Sam Keltos, Claire Abbott, Abby Nehus, Leah McDermott. And for Nottingham, Macy Cook, Natalie Charity, Kayla Shaw, Mari Stewart and Imani Whittington. So the Mystics looking for their first league win of the season against a bit of a depleted Nottingham squad here today. Some of their key players out through injury. So Mystics will be looking to see if they can take advantage of that and come out with their first league win of the season today. Manchester having been led by Sam Keltos all season. She's having a fantastic season, leads the league in points per game with 19.4, 9.7 rebounds and 2.6 assists. Her last 5 games, she's been incredible. 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, 1.8 blocks and 3.6 assists. A real key player for this Mystics squad. And a player with definitely a very exciting and long career ahead of her. So Mystics will be playing in blue today, Nottingham in yellow. As teams get their final team talk from coaches, we have Coach Mark Jones for the Mystics and Kenrick Lebert for Nottingham. And thanks to everybody tuning in the comments. Vanessa Accra, as always, missing you up here in Manchester. Janice, supporting Abby all the way from Oklahoma. Thank you for tuning in. Hope it's not too early for you over there. So teams are getting ready to come on court. So for the tip for the Mystics, it will be Abby Nehus going against Mari Stewart for the Wildcats. So ball is up and underway. Whittington grabs the ball for the Wildcats. And pass inside. That's going to be an offensive foul. Shay Sanchez takes the charge. She has been doing that all season long, putting her body on the line for this squad. 6 seconds in, 1 charge down for Sanchez. So it'll be Mystics ball. Keltos to inbound. Into McDermott. It's guarded by Charity. Round to Abbott. Into Nehus. Nehus working. Great footwork. Can't finish. Ball's tapped into the hands of the Wildcats. Charity passes it out, gets it back. Cook kicks it outside. Shots up, no good. Sanchez with the rebound. Sanchez stops, pops, pulls up, doesn't go. Keltos with the rebound and puts it back in. First points of the game for the Mystics. And Shay Sanchez is off to a great start here so far. As Nottingham answer. Mari Stewart with her first points of the game for the Wildcats. Sanchez into Nehus. Round to Keltos, she's got space there, thought about the three, drives to the basket and lays it in. That's a really tough move from Sam Keltos. She makes it look easy, but her length and her wingspan able to drive to the basket, lay that ball in. Three's up, doesn't drop for Stewart. McDermott chases it down. Keltos hands it over to McDermott, who's going to reset things. Sanchez with a long three. It's good! And Mystics out to a quick 10-2 lead here in the first quarter. We've got 8:04 to go. Shaw answers. Takes the Wildcats to 5. Mystics back on the board, another quick 2 points. Whittington against Nihus. And it's intercepted by Sanchez. Keltos driving all the way to the basket, loses it, and it's picked up. Cook hands it off to Charity. Oh, great pass into the basket. Reverse layup doesn't go. And Nihus fighting for the rebound. Shaw was left wide open there under the basket. And that is going to be a foul call on Nottingham. That's the first on Shaw, first team foul for the quarter. Nihus into McDermott. To Keltos. Abbott's three doesn't fall, and Whittington grabs the rebound for Nottingham. Whittington hook shot, no good. Keltos is there for the pickup. Over to Abbott, it's intercepted by Cook. And Shaw controlling things for the Wildcats. Great pass over to Charity, just a bit too strong, and it goes out of bounds. But Nottingham getting into some good positioning under the basket. Mystics need to try and close that down. As Keltos gets it over the halfway line. Goes against Whittington. Needs to get it back out. And it's going to be a reaching foul on the Wildcats. That will be the first on Imani Whittington. That's Keltos round to Abbott. Abbott for three and hits. Quick 12-5 lead for the Mystics. We've got 6:08 to play here in the first. Stewart round to Charity. Shaw for three. Doesn't go. Charity grabs the rebound. And it'll be last touch Wildcats. And Natalie Charity, also playing in the WBBL for the Wildcats Academy. She's been having an amazing season so far. 20 points per game. Was the player of the week in February. And leads the league in assists per game in WBBL. Another player with a great future ahead of her as Shay Sanchez powers all the way to the basket for the Mystics, and she's got 7 points here in the first quarter. Three doesn't go for Nottingham. And Shay Sanchez out to a hot start for the Mystics, taking a charge 6 seconds into the game. 7 points on the board, knocking down a three, doing a bit of everything. As Nihus needs some help to get it inside. Gets it into Keltos. Sanchez off the screen. Sanchez tries to keep it alive. It's stolen away. Shaw, long two, hits. Great composure for Shaw in that play. When you're coming up against Sam Keltos, it can be difficult. So she stopped, decided to take the shot. Got some points on the board for Nottingham. As Stewart lays it in. Sanchez. Over to Abbott. McDermott for 3. That one's too short. Stewart pulls the rebound down. Charity setting things up. Round to Stewart. Shaw fires for 3 again. Doesn't go. And Sanchez working against Charity. She's doubled. Gets it round to Abbott. Floater is good for Claire Abbott. Gives her 5 points in the game so far. 16-9 Mystics lead with just over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Stewart kicks it out to Whittington. Round to Shaw. She tries a 3. It goes. And Shaw having a great start to the game as Cook intercepts that long pass. Stewart all the way to the basket. And Mystics need to try and close down that lane inside. Nottingham getting some quite wide open looks underneath the basket. Just a 2-point game. McDermott over to Abbott. The Keltos. Nihu's inside to Abbott. Pass is just a bit too strong, and it's going to be a turnover. Mystics ball will be back with Nottingham. And Isabel Robinson checking into the game for the first time. Abby Nihu's going to head to the bench. And we'll have a timeout. So 16-14, Mystics lead behind 7 points from Shea Sanchez. Kayla Shaw has 8 for the Wildcats. And both teams doing well scoring here early on, something they've sometimes struggled a little bit with early on in the first quarter, but both teams coming out firing. Mystics with a big lead early on, 9 points, but Nottingham able to claw their way back into it and not let that lead get too far ahead. So it'll be interesting to see how the Mystics adjust to this, with the Wildcats having made a bit of a run the last couple of minutes. So teams coming back on court. We've got 3:24 to play in the first. It'll be Wildcats ball. We've got a chance to tie or take the lead here on this possession. Charity. Round to Shaw. Long 2, in and out, and finally back in again for Macy Cook. Ties the game at 16. McDermott into Robinson. Robinson, great move to the basket. And what a tough move from Isabel Robinson going against Meffel. Meffel, round to Charity. Out to Cook. Whittington. Fires for 3. No good. Keltos grabs a rebound. Pass inside to Robinson. Just pops out. And a great look, though, from Isabel Robinson. Keltos getting into a great position to make that pass. As Wildcats can't answer. Abbott. Round to McDermott. Robinson on the baseline. Lays it in. 2 quick baskets for Isabel Robinson, doing a great job coming on for the Mystics. As Shaw hits another 3. Cuts the lead to 1. That gives Shaw 11 points in the game, leading all scorers. Keltos working against Whittington. Manages to keep it alive. The ball hit the bottom of the basket, so it's going to be a turnover. It'll be back with the Wildcats. So Whittington to inbound. Charity against Dagan. Charity pass inside to Whittington's knocked away. Keltos comes up with it. Keltos, she's got Robinson ahead of her. Isabel Robinson can't finish. McDermott picks up the rebound over to Keltos. Her shot doesn't drop. Three's up, no good. Whittington saves it in, over to Charity. And Meffel's there for the putback. Wildcats take the lead, 21-20, just under a minute to play in the first. Mystics need to look at boxing out down inside. Sanchez round to Robinson. McDermott to Sanchez. Sanchez, Keltos has got space, turns and fires, hits! A big three from Sam Keltos, a really tough shot. Mystics back ahead by 2. Charity. Charity round to Shaw. Shaw steps back for 3. No good. And we got a foul call on the floor. That is going to be on Keltos. That's her first. As Valerie DeFalco checks into the game for the first time for the Wildcats. Charity in. Bounds, knocked out. Last touch was Mystics, so Nottingham get the ball back. We got 12 seconds on the shot clock. Charity. Puts it into Shaw. She's had the hot hand from 3. Shaw driving, kicks it out. Shots up, too short. Adagan with the rebound. 13 seconds to go. Adagan into Robinson. Back out to Sanchez for 3. No good. McDermott with the rebound. And the reverse isn't going to go. Meffel, and time will run out. That will do it for the first quarter. 23-21. The Mystics lead. They have been led by Shay Sanchez, who has 7 points in the game so far. And Kayla Shaw with 11 for the Nottingham Wildcats. So a good start offensively for both teams. Nottingham having hit 3 threes so far, all from Kayla Shaw. She's been doing a fantastic job for the team. Adding in 5 rebounds as well as her 11 points. Looking at a double-double very early on in the game. And Shay Sanchez for the Mystics, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, taking a big charge very early on in the game. And the Mystics are going to need to keep up this intensity and this pressure to stay on top here against Nottingham. And as we said earlier, Nottingham, without some key players in today's matchup, have a lot of representation from their WBBL Wildcats Academy squad. A great academy they have there in Nottingham, producing some amazing players. And always have a really strong showing in the WBBL with the Academy finals coming up in just a few weeks' time. I'm sure they're very likely to feature in those as we head into the playoffs for the WBBL season. And it probably also helps as well. Some of the Mystics on the Mystics WBBL squad will be very familiar with some of the Nottingham players, so can always help when you've played each other a couple of times in the season. Even if it's in different leagues, you get to be familiar with the players, how they like to play. Can always help you out a bit. So teams back on court. It'll be Mystics ball to get things started in the second. And I think we're just checking if the scoreboard in the venue is correct. Table officials just discussing something. back underway. So Sanchez with the inbound to Adeogun. Abbott over to Robinson. And great pass over to Nihus, who finishes. A great start to the second for the Mystics. To Falco, swings it round to Shaw. She puts the three up again. No good. Mystics needs to close that down. She's had the hot hand from three so far. Adeogun to Nihus. Pass to Isabel Robinson. Can't finish on the pick and roll. Stewart into Shaw. Shaw turns, steps through. Layup doesn't fall, but Stewart grabs the rebound. And that is going to be a foul call on Nihus as she closed down. That's her first team foul for the Mystics this quarter. So Stewart at the line for two. The first shot is good. Shooting just under 60% from the line so far this season as she hits the second. Leads back down to two for the Mystics. Adeogun. Long two doesn't drop. Nihus is there for the rebound and puts it back in. She's going to head to the line. Great basket from Abby Nihus. As she can't finish the three-point play. Stewart pulls up, shot's good. 2-point lead for the Mystics. Sanchez pass into Nihus is knocked out. Mystics getting a bit lucky on that possession, as they will keep the ball. Imani Whittington checking into the game, and Mari Stewart and Natalie Charity heading to the bench. Abbott into Sanchez, hits, and that takes Shay Sanchez to 9 points. To Falco, around to Shaw. Oh, great pass inside. Whittington keeps it alive. And double dribble call just before the handoff, so ball is back with the Mystics. So Nihus on the inbound. Nottingham picking up full court here as Keltos working against Whittington. Round to Abbott. Got time for the three. It's good. 32-25 Mystics lead. We've got 8 minutes to play in the second. To Falco. Stepping through. Kicks it out. Keltos steals it away. Abbott looks to reset for the Mystics. Keltos pulls up for three. That's too short. To Falco with the rebound. Meffel, her shot's no good. Sanchez picks it up. Nihus to Abbott. Great pass back to Nihus, who finishes. And that's 8 points for Abby Nihus so far in today's game. Shaw steps back. And a great shot. Takes the Wildcats to 27. Kayla Shaw having a great game so far. 13 points. Leading the way for all scorers. Keltos passes back to Adeogun. Runs into traffic. Shot's just too short. Wildcats come up with it. Shaw for 3 and hits! Kayla Shaw is having herself a game. She's 16 points already. She's averaging 16 for the season. And Whittington intercepts it over to Shaw. She's got Cook on her left, on her right. Cook kicks it back out, and that'll be chased down by Meffel. You can't keep it inside her back with the Mystics. Mystics got a little bit lucky on that possession as Wildcats keep making these runs. As Yemesi Meffel heads to the bench. And Kira Belsham checks in for the first time for Nottingham. McDermott with the inbound. And that is going to be a 5-second violation. Some great D from Nottingham, really pressuring the Mystics, making it incredibly hard for them to get the ball in. Shaw dances away to the basket, kicks it over to Belshaw. And foul on the floor as McDermott was driving, so that is going to be sideline Mystics ball. That is foul number 1 on Macy Cook. So McDermott into Keltos. McDermott gets it back, turns and fires at mid-range, doesn't fall. And Nihus, I think she thought that was off the Wildcats as she didn't chase it down, but ref's call is last touch Mystics. Wildcats get the ball back. 4-point deficit here in the second quarter. Shaw drives to the basket, doesn't get it to fall. Keltos with the rebound. Mystics coming back on the attack. Dagan out to Sanchez for 3. Doesn't go. Whittington with the rebound. Whittington to DeFalco, working against the Dagan. DeFalco kicks it out round to Cook. Shaw for 3. And she hits again! Kayla Shaw, 19 points. And I think we've got just checking what. Apologies, that was a foul, so it's going to be sideline Mystics ball. Kayla Shaw having a fantastic game so far. She's absolutely nailing those 3-pointers. Keltos for 3. No good, and ball is chased down by Kirsty Russell. Can't keep it alive though, so back with the Wildcats. 1-point game. Mystics lead 34-33. Just under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Shaw. Round to Whittington. Cook going all the way to the basket. Doesn't get it to fall. McDermott kicks it over. Pass is just a bit too short, so it's stolen away. Shaw going against Nihus. Shaw, she's blocked! And a huge block by Abby Nihus. So sideline, end line, Nottingham ball. Shaw. Kicks it out. Cook round to Whittington. Whittington with the long 2, doesn't go. McDermott against Charity. Abbott to Nihus and hits. Abby Nihus with 10 points in the game so far. And Abby having been out for quite a long time earlier in the season with a knee injury. Really great to see her back on court as Shaw shoots the three, but it doesn't drop. Russell's pass knocked out, saved by Keltos. She kicks it back out and it's stolen away by Shaw. And Shaw all the way to the basket. Count it, and the foul. A chance to tie the game here in the first half. Kayla Shaw, 23 points. She's having a fantastic game. Leads this Wildcats team in points per game and steals per game, and you can see why in the performance that she's put on so far in the first half. Leading all scorers with 23 points. She's hit 5 threes so far, 6 rebounds, and a couple of assists to go along with that as well. What a player. And really keeping the Wildcats in this as well. When Mystics have pulled out to a bit of a lead, the Wildcats have been able to come back into it behind the inspired play of Kayla Shaw. So the Mystics will be back in action next weekend against Cardiff. That will be away in Cardiff. They are next at home on the 19th of March against the Sheffield Hatters at 1 o'clock at the National Basketball Performance Centre. So make sure to come down and support the team if you're in the Manchester area. Nottingham will be facing Sheffield next Sunday, March the 5th. Wait, that's today. Apologies. They're playing Sheffield next weekend in Nottingham. Got my dates mixed up. So it seems back on court. Mystics with a 1-point lead here. But Kayla Shaw heading to the line with a chance to tie the game. And shots good. Tie game at 36. Mystics looking to answer. Sanchez all the way. Tough move. Can't get it to drop. McDermott's there for the putback. And we've seen Leah McDermott do that throughout this season. She's been a great presence on the offensive boards. Being able to get the rebound and put the shot back in. Those second chance points so crucial in close games. As McDermott passes into Robinson, and she's fouled on the shot, so she'll head to the line for 2. And Leah McDermott as well, great to see her back on court after injuries in previous seasons. She's been having a great season as well for the Mystics. 12.5 points per game, 4.5 assists. She had 10 assists against Newcastle a few weeks ago, making her only the 4th Mystics player to have a 10 or more assist game. As Robinson hits the first and the second, leads back to 4 for the Mystics. Gives Isabel Robinson 6 points. Shaw with a deep 3, hits it! 6 threes for Kayla Shaw. She's got 25. And that foul was on Natalie Charity, her first, and that takes the Wildcats to 5 team fouls, which means from here on out it will be shots all the way for the Mystics each time a Nottingham foul. And if you're the Mystics, you want to try and take advantage of that drive to the basket, try and draw those fouls. As McDermott hits the first free throw. And the second, 2 of 2 from the line for Leah McDermott. As Mari Stewart checks back in. And Kira Belsham heads to the bench for the Wildcats. 3-point lead for the Mystics here with just over 2 minutes to play in the first half. Charity to Stewart. Stewart fires for 3. In and out as Robinson grabs the rebound. Keltos with McDermott up ahead of her. And can't keep it inside, so it's Wildcats ball. Shaw against McDermott. Shaw steps back, 3's up, doesn't go. Charity's there for the rebound, can't finish as Keltos comes up with it for the Mystics. Over to Sanchez. Sanchez driving all the way, too strong off the glass. And it's picked up by Shaw, gets it over the halfway line, over to Natalie Charity. Shaw gets it back. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Stewart fires. No good. McDermott over to Robinson and finishes. Isabel Robinson having herself a great first half here, as that takes her to 8 points so far, making a real difference for the Mystics. And her presence inside, really crucial. Thank you, JPRM. Yes, the Wildcats are playing Sheffield tomorrow, so I've got my dates written down confusingly on my sheet. They will be playing tomorrow, so a doubleheader weekend for them. So they'll be back at home in Nottingham against the Sheffield Hatters. So we've got just over a minute to play here in the first quarter. Mystics with a 5-point lead, 44-39 over the Nottingham Wildcats. Kayla Shaw has 25 points so far in the first half. And she's knocked down 6 3-pointers on her way to those 25 points. Averaging 16 points per game so far this season. She smashed that, and we're still in the first half. So the team's back on court for the last minute of the first half. It is Wildcats ball. Shaw off the screen from Stewart. Shaw kicks it out. Cook round to Whittington. Count to Charity. Pass is stolen away by Robinson. Sanchez over to Abbott. She's got loads of space in the corner. Shot short, but chases down her own rebound. And she's blocked by Shaw. Shaw steps back. No good. Stewart picks it up, turns and fires, and drops in. Great hustle from the Wildcats on those possessions to keep the ball alive. 10 seconds to go. McDermott. Round to Abbott. Abbott, she's blocked by Charity. And ball's knocked out. There'll be 1.6 on the clock, and we'll have a timeout, Nottingham. So Nottingham with a chance here to cut this to a 2-point lead. Sorry, they can. We've got different scores in the arenas we have on the score. The score is actually 44-41. So Nottingham here have a chance to tie the game with a 3-pointer. And a great timeout by Coach Kenrick, drawing up a play for the team. And the Mystics need a really strong defensive stop to head into the second half with that momentum. Whoever kind of finishes this play is always going to be the team that's going to head into the locker room at half time feeling pretty pleased with how they've ended the first half. So it'll be 1.6 on the clock. Nottingham with the inbound. And if you're the Mystics here, you don't want to foul. You don't need to foul. You just need to play some tough D and make it hard for the Wildcats to get a shot off. So Charity into Stewart. Stewart steps back for three and hits at the buzzer! Mari Stewart with a big three for the Wildcats, ties the game at 44. And Coach Kenrick will be very pleased with what he's seen from his team here early on in the first half. A depleted Wildcat squad. They've tied the game at 44. And I imagine he's very pleased with how that play has worked out. So, leading the way for all scorers, we have Kayla Shaw has 25 points on 6 made threes. Shay Sanchez is on 9, and Abby Nihus on 10 for the Mystics. So we will take a quick break for half time, and we'll be back with you in around 10 minutes time. Welcome back to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We're getting ready for the second half between the Manchester Met Mystics and the Nottingham Wildcats. We have a tie game at 44 points apiece as we head into the third quarter. Kayla Shaw has been fantastic for the Nottingham Wildcats so far. 25 points, hitting 6 threes on the way to that 25, and also adding in 4 rebounds as well. She's having a great game so far. The Mystics have been led by Abby Nihus, who has 8 points, and Shay Sanchez, who has 9. So as we get the second half underway, the Mystics are still looking for their first league win of the season. And Nottingham looking to get back into the win column after a loss against Newcastle last time round. So we finished the first half, if you are just joining us now, with a big shot from Mari Stewart, who hit a 3 to tie the game as time expired at the end of the first. And Nottingham have been able to claw their way back into this after the Mystics got out to a strong 9-point lead early on. Nottingham have been able to go on a run every time the Mystics have pulled ahead and been able to get back into it behind the amazing play of Kayla Shaw so far. So it will be a Nottingham ball to start the second half, and they'll have the chance to take the lead here in the third quarter as we get things underway. Charity driving to the basket, passes out to Stewart, it's stolen away by Nihus, who gets it over to Sanchez. Sanchez into Keltos, great pass, can't finish. Charity picks it up. Stewart out to Shaw, fires from deep and hits. She starts the third as she finished the second. A massive 3 from Shaw. Keltos answers at the other end, puts it in for the Mystics. 1 point Wildcats lead. And Kayla Shaw has 7 threes in the game and 28 points. Shaw stolen away by Sanchez. She's got Keltos to her left. Sanchez stolen away by Cook. And Cook going to slow things down, reset for the Wildcats. Keltos steals it away. Hands it off to Sanchez. Nihus. Back to Abbott. Round to McDermott. Got 7 on the shot clock. Sanchez against Shaw. Round to Keltos. 2 seconds to shoot. Charity steals it away. And that will be a shot clock violation. Great defense from the Wildcats. And Nottingham coming out strong here to start the third quarter. Charity into Whittington. She's going against Nihus. Whittington out to Stewart. Stewart driving to the basket. Doesn't get it to drop. McDermott for the Mystics into Keltos. Keltos into Abbott inside. Kicks it out to McDermott from the free throw line. No good. McDermott again. Abbott to Keltos for 3. Doesn't fall. Nottingham holding a slim 1 point lead here in the third. As Cook driving all the way to the basket. Can't get it to fall, but Stewart's there for the rebound. Shaw kicks it down. Charity with 4 to shoot. Shaw's shot's up, doesn't go. And holding foul on the floor. That is going to be a Wildcats ball. Isabel Robinson checks into the game. Abby Nihus heads to the bench. So that foul was on Leah McDermott, her first. As Charity gets it into Shaw. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Stewart, three's up, doesn't go. Ball's going to stay with the Wildcats. Fresh 14 on the shot clock. Charity. Over to Shaw. Shaw steps back, pulls up, doesn't drop. Charity picks it up and she's blocked by Keltos. Back out to Cook, 6 on the shot clock. Cook hands it off to Whittington. Whittington steps back. Shot doesn't go, Keltos grabs the rebound. Sanchez all the way to the basket. Shaw with a crossover on the baseline, and she's knocked out of bounds. Great D from Leah McDermott to force Shaw out of bounds and force a turnover. Robinson, pass is kicked, so ball will stay with the Mystics. As Sanchez will inbound to Keltos. Keltos against Whittington. Hands it off to McDermott. Great move from McDermott to get to the basket. Mystics are back ahead by 1. Stewart. Shots up and it's good. Wildcats back in front. Stewart steals it away. Going one-on-one against Keltos. And blocked by Sam Keltos. And the referee has to chase the ball all the way onto the other court after Sam Keltos said, "No, get out of here." Charity over to Cook. Gets it back into Whittington. Whittington's got space there. Reverse doesn't go. Sanchez out to McDermott. And McDermott draws the foul. This will be sideline at Mystics ball. That foul is on Imani Whittington, her second. McDermott ran to Abbott. Abbott drives inside, tough shot, can't get it to drop. Cook swings it round to Charity. Out to Whittington. Whittington driving and she's blocked. Oh, they've called the foul. It'll be just checking who that is on. That is on Sanchez. That's her first. And Abby Nihus going to come into the game. Sam Keltos heading to the bench for the Mystics. Wildcats with a 1-point lead here in the third quarter, as Whittington's at the line for 2. First shot's no good. A 90% free throw shooter so far this season. And hits the second. Wildcats with a 2-point lead. McDermott to Sanchez. Abbott out to McDermott. 5 seconds on the shot clock. McDermott turns, fires, hits. tie game at 50. Very composed, controlled shot from Leah McDermott. Shows her experience on the court. Ties the game at 50. Shaw steps back, shots up, and she's fouled. That'll be on Nihus, her second. As Macy Cook checks out, and Yamesi Meffel is in for the Wildcats. So Shaw at the line. First shot's good. Second also good. That takes her to 30 points in the game. We got 4:13 to play in the third quarter. Nihus hands it off to McDermott. Round to Abbott. Robinson inside. Nihus picks it up. Out to Abbott. Abbott for three. That's short. Nihus grabs the rebound over to Sanchez. Too strong off the glass. And Whittington grabs the rebound. Charity driving. And she's able to draw the foul. So that'll be the first foul on Claire Abbott for the Mystics. The Mystics on 14 fouls this quarter. As Princess Adegan checks in and Claire Abbott heads to the bench. Charity with the inbound for Nottingham. Charity hands it off to Shaw. Shaw, great pass into Stewart. Can't finish. And it comes off the foot of Adegan. So ball is back with the Wildcats. 3:22 to play here in the third. Wildcats have a 2-point lead over the Mystics. Shaw. Round to Charity. 3 seconds to shoot. A full shot doesn't go. Robinson comes up with it. Stolen away by Stewart. Shaw to Charity. Shaw gets it back. Shaw for three. It's good! She's got 33. A huge game from Kayla Shaw. Gives the Wildcats a 5-point lead. McDermott. Shot doesn't drop. Stewart with the rebound. Wildcats looking to increase their lead here. Shaw round to Whittington. Stewart and travel call. Turnover Wildcats. As it will have a timeout, Mystics. So Nottingham taking control here a bit in the third quarter. 55-50 over the Manchester Mystics. Kayla Shaw with a phenomenal 33 points so far in the game. She has been absolutely on fire from three. And we're just getting the figures. She has 8 made 3-pointers in the game so far. Let's go along with 6 rebounds. And Kayla Shaw averaging 16 points per game so far this season. What an incredible performance from her. She's really leading the Wildcats team, who, as we've mentioned before, a little bit depleted today with some key players out. And for the Mystics, spreading the scoring round a little bit, we have Shay Sanchez and Sam Keltos both on 9 points apiece. Claire Abbott, Isabel Robinson, Leah McDermott and Abby Nihus all chipping in 8 as well. teams back on court. It will be Mystics ball. And just a 6-point quarter so far for the Mystics. Need to get some points on the board here early on, and coming out of that timeout, Nottingham force another turnover. Charity into Shaw. Stewart. Shaw's got it back. Shaw. Whittington fires. No good. Charity pulls the rebound down. Can't get a second chance as Keltos hands it over to McDermott. Mystics need to get a score here. Nihus to McDermott. McDermott, and she's blocked. Nihus manages to save it in. Gets it over to Sanchez, who can't quite keep her hands on it. We've got just under 2 minutes to play here in the third. Shaw for three. That one doesn't go. And Sanchez is fouled as she brings the ball up the court. That is going to be on Shaw. That's her third. Dagan round to McDermott. Nearly stolen away, but Nihus keeps it alive. Keltos turns, hits. Three-point Wildcats lead. 1:10 to play in the third. Shaw kicks it out to Whittington. Whittington driving out to Charity for three. Doesn't fall. Sanchez pulls it down. Sanchez all the way and banks it in. That takes Shea to 11. 1 point Nottingham lead. Charity, she's got space. Long two is up, doesn't go. Stewart follows the rebound, gets it again, and she's fouled. So she's going to head to the line for two. Great hustle from Mari Stewart, chasing down the shot, chasing down her own rebound, picking up 2 offensive boards and drawing the foul. She's going to head to the line. And that foul was on Shea Sanchez. That's just her second. Stewart's first shot is good. And the second one rolls in. Leads back to 3 for the Wildcats. Tatiana Sungani checking in for Imani Whittington for the Wildcats. Got 30.6 seconds here to play in the third quarter. McDermott. Round to Sanchez. Passing to Keltos. Keltos working against Stewart. Kicks it out. Sanchez. Round to Adeogun, got 6 seconds on the shot clock. Adeogun stops. Great pass to Keltos, who finishes with the reverse. 4 seconds. Charity. 2 seconds. 1 second. Needs to put something up. Shots no good. That will do it for the third quarter. A 57-56 Wildcats lead over the Manchester Mystics. A real back and forth game here so far at the National Basketball Performance Centre, with just another quarter to play. Nottingham led by the fantastic Kayla Shaw, 33 points, hitting 8 threes and pulling down 6 rebounds as well. The Mystics are led by Sam Keltos, who has 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists and a couple of steals as well. Mari Stewart, again for the Nottingham Wildcats, has been fantastic. 19 points. Doing a great job on the boards as well, pulling down 12 rebounds and 5 huge offensive boards for the Wildcats. So we've got one more quarter to play as the Manchester Mystics are looking for their first league win of the season, and Nottingham looking to get back in the win column after a loss against Newcastle last week and without a few of their key players out due to injury. So the next home game for the Mystics is on the 19th of March against the Sheffield Hatters here at the National Basketball Performance Centre at 1 o'clock. So if you're in the area, come down and support the team. And the Nottingham Wildcats will be taking on the Sheffield Hatters tomorrow at home in Nottingham. So teams coming back on court. We've got one more quarter of basketball to play. Nottingham with a 1-point lead here as we head into the fourth. Mystics will have the ball to start things off with a chance to take the lead here. Keltos. Pass inside to Abbott. Working against Shaw. Abbott turns, fires, and great start to the fourth for the Mystics as they go ahead by 1. That takes Abbott to 10 points. Charity working against the day again. And that is going to be an offensive foul called on Charity. That's her second. So Mystics will get the sideline ball. Keltos gets it into a day again. Round to Abbott. Abbott over to McDermott. Inside to Niehuis. Fighting against Stewart. Niehuis lays it in, and great job from Abby Niehuis. 3-point Mystics lead. Cook. Shaw, she's been dangerous all game. Kicks it out to Stewart. Stewart for 3. No good. Abbott working against Cook. Over to Ade again. Out to Keltos. And that is going to be a foul on Sungani. So fresh 14 for the Mystics. As Natalie Charity checks out, and Valerie DeFalco in for the Wildcats. McDermott, shot short, she follows her own shot, grabs the rebound and puts it back in. And a great start to the fourth here for the Mystics, 5 quick points on the board. Cook drives all the way to the basket and draws the foul. Finishes a tough shot. And that foul was on Claire Abbott, her second. Macy Cook shooting 80% from the line so far this season. Chance at a 3-point play. Can't finish. Niehuis grabs the rebound. McDermott to Abbott. Abbott into Niehuis. Niehuis too strong off the glass, can't grab the rebound. DeFalco. DeFalco driving all the way. And again, she draws the contact. Nottingham, 2 quick possessions, drawing the foul, making the basket and heading to the free throw line. As Shay Sanchez comes into the game and Claire Abbott heads to the bench. So Valerie DeFalco at the line for 1. And that's short, picked up by McDermott. McDermott knocked out, going to stay with the Mystics. McDermott into Sanchez against Cook. And that'll be a reaching foul. So that's going to be the second foul on Macy Cook. End line Mystics ball. Sanchez to Keltos for 3. And hits! Sam Keltos with a big 3 for the Mystics. 65-61. Keltos has 16. DeFalco going against the Dagan. And a bit of a late whistle on McDermott as she went for the steal. Caught Shaw in the head. Just the second foul on McDermott. As Tatiana Sungani heads to the bench. Imani Whittington back in for the Wildcats. DeFalco with the inbound. Over to Shaw. Shaw, great pass to Whittington. Kicks it back out to Cook. A deep 3 from Shaw, and she hits all the way from downtown Nottingham. She's got 9 threes in the game. Cuts the lead to 1. Adeogun going against DeFalco. And that'll be an 8-second violation. Nottingham piling on the pressure. Kayla Shaw has 36 points in the game on 9 made threes. Stewart, long 2, and hits. Wildcats back in front. Sanchez working against Cook. Into Nihus. Back to Keltos. Knocked away. And Whittington comes up with it. Whittington driving baseline. And Adeogun knocks it out. Going to stay with the Wildcats. Kayla Shaw, 36 points, 9 made threes. What a fantastic performance she is having in the game today. She's got 6 rebounds to go along with it and 2 assists. Now, I don't know if we've got some sort of record here in the WBBL, but 9 individual made threes seems like it should definitely be up there. Really, really strong performance from Shaw today and has really been massive for this Wildcats team. They have a 1-point lead here with 6:33 to go in the 4th quarter. So teams coming back on court. It'll be a Wildcats ball. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Charity gets it into Whittington. Charity gets it back. Looking around the outside. Swings it round to Shaw. Shaw for 3 again. Doesn't go. And if you're the Mystics, you really need to close down Shaw. She's shooting way out behind the 3-point line as Adeogun keeps it alive, but that is going to be a backcourt violation. And the Wildcats will get the ball back. Claire Abbott checks back in for the Mystics. Charity for 3. That's too short. Sam Kelsos looks like she casually pulls the rebound down with one hand as McDermott drives all the way to the basket. Foul is called, but it is on the floor before the shot. So that is on Natalie Charity. They're saying the foul was, I think McDermott was expecting it to be shot, but the foul was before the shot on the floor. So it'll be a sideline ball for the Mystics. Keltos into McDermott. Great pass over to Nihus, who finishes. Mystics back in front. Shaw. Charity round to Stewart. Stewart. Shot short. Sanchez keeps it inside, but it goes over to the Wildcats. Stolen away by Abbott. Whittington gets it back. And I think she caught Abbott just there on the sideline. Looks like Claire's okay. So last touch is going to be Mystics. It will be a Wildcats ball. So DeFalco with the inbound. I think, referees are just going to discuss something. And yep, ball will stay with the Wildcats. DeFalco with the inbound. Over to Charity. And backcourt violation. Ball is going back with the Mystics. One point game here in the fourth quarter. 67-66. We've got 5:26 to play in the fourth. Sanchez into McDermott. Doing a good job to save it from the hands of Natalie Charity. As Sanchez gets it into Nihus, kicks it out to Abbott. Abbott's 3 doesn't fall. McDermott's there for the rebound. Can't put it back in. And Abbott jumping in to try and grab the ball, but it will be a foul call. So Wildcats ball. Umesi Melfull coming into the game for Nottingham. And that foul there, that was Claire Abbott's 4th. Charity over to Shaw. Shaw. Around to Whittington. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Whittington turns. Great move, can't finish. As she comes up with the offensive board. Can't finish the second chance, and Nihus comes up with the rebound. Keltos needs some help. Over to Sanchez. Sanchez with the reverse! Count it and the foul. Shay Sanchez with a tough basket, and she's going to head to the line. Gives the Mystics a 3-point lead, and that will be foul number 4 on Natalie Charity. And Shay Sanchez playing in her first season out of NCAA AD2 at Washburn University. Can't finish the 3-point play. 69-66, a Mystics lead, 4:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Charity over to Whittington. Charity gets it back. Whittington, Meffel all alone underneath the basket. Gives the Wildcats another 2 points and cuts the lead to 1. And a great move from Yamasemi Meffel to get underneath the basket. Great position, but the Mystics really need to look to close that down. So just over 4 minutes to play here. Mystics have a 1 point lead. They are led by 16 points from Sam Keltos. Also pulling down 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Sam Keltos, as I've said before, having a fantastic season for the Manchester Mystics. Leading the league in scoring as well, 19.4 points per game. She's been real huge for this Mystics team throughout the season. And Kayla Shaw, what a performance from her today. 36 points, 9 made threes. Just an amazing performance. And she's shooting deep threes as well. She's not just shooting around that 3-point line, she's getting far out and hitting them. So team's back on court. Last 4:07 to play here in the fourth. Isabel Robinson is pretending she's on court, but really she's sneaking down the sideline, so she's not on court. It is Leah McDermott for the Mystics. McDermott over to Abbott, into Keltos. Keltos to the basket, and no basket foul is called on the floor. But that is the 5th foul for the Wildcats, so that is going to be 2 shots for Sam Keltos. So Wildcats on team fouls now, so the rest of the way from here will be 2 shots for the Mystics every time there is a Wildcats foul. As Keltos hits the first. And the second takes her to 18 and gives the Mystics a 3-point lead. Stewart over Nihus. Doesn't get it to fall. Meffel's there for the rebound. Doesn't go. Keltos slows things down and hands it over to McDermott. Down to Abbott. Keltos over to McDermott, into Nihus. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Nihus turns, too strong off the glass, gets her own rebound and puts it back in. Mystics ahead by 5. Meffel round to Stewart. Stewart for 3. Too short. Keltos dives in for the rebound. McDermott to Abbott. Abbott looking for some help. Over to Nihus. And pushing foul on the Wildcats. That is going to send Keltos to the line for 2. As Macy Cook is in and Yemisi Meffel heads to the bench for Nottingham. So Keltos at the line for 2. Mystics with a 5-point lead here late in the fourth. First shot's good. Second gets the friendly roll. That takes Sam Keltos to 20 points. Mystics with a 7-point lead. 2.5 minutes to play in the fourth. Charity round to Whittington. Whittington going against Keltos, and Keltos blocks it. Stewart driving to the basket. Sanchez blocks it. Stewart gets it back. Whittington round to Charity. Knocked out of bounds. And it will stay with the Wildcats, with some great D from the Mystics on this possession. Charity with the inbound over to Shaw. And that will be a shot clock violation. Ball is back with the Mystics. Some great defensive play from the Mystics on the last two possessions. Sanchez working against Shaw. Gets it over the line to McDermott. McDermott into Nihus. It's stolen away by Cook. Cook over to Stewart. Shaw for three. No good. Knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Wildcats. Charity gets it in to Whittington under the basket. A great move from Imani Whittington. Leads down to 5. Nihus hands it off to McDermott. Stolen away by Stewart. McDermott and Stewart fighting for it. Abbott gets it over the halfway line. And it's knocked out, so we'll stay with the Mystics. Some tough play from both the Wildcats and the Mystics fighting for the ball. I think the table officials just discussing the call. The call looked like it was just regular end line ball. It was off the foot of one of the Wildcats players. I think it's the they're looking at the clock. Look to be resetting the clock. So we got 1:31 to play here in the fourth. The Mystics have a 75-70 lead. They will inbound. Keltos into McDermott. Sanchez. Keltos for 3. Doesn't go. Shaw pulls it down. Shaw to Cook. Cook driving. And it's going to be a foul call. Looked like Keltos thought the block was clean. Foul is called on the Mystics. And that is going to be foul number 5 on Claire Abbott. So she will have to head to the bench, and Princess Adeogun will check in. So Macy Cook at the line for 2. Cook's first shot is no good. Second one falls. Lead is down to 4. And there's a quick foul on Natalie Charity, and that is going to be her 5th. So she will be out of the game, and that will send the Mystics to the free throw line. I think there's a little bit of confusion on the floor. Not sure if the Mystics have realised they are shooting. So it'll be McDermott at the line for 2. And first shot is no good. second one is, and that puts the lead back up to 5. Leah McDermott has 11. 1:10 to play here in the fourth. Shaw. Round to Stewart. Stewart for 3. In and out. Keltos grabs the rebound. Out to Sanchez. And Sanchez is fouled by Shaw. So Shea Sanchez heading to the line. That is the 4th foul on Kayla Shaw. So Sanchez with 13 points so far in the game, shooting 72% from the line this season. First shot's good. Second doesn't drop. 6-point Mystics lead, just under a minute to play in the fourth. Shaw. She's been on fire from 3. Round to Stewart. Stewart driving. And foul is called on, I think that will be, oh, that's called on Keltos. Looked like it was on Nihus. So that is the second foul on Sam Keltos. So Mari Stewart at the line for 2. Both teams on 5 team fouls, so any fouls from here on out are going to be sending each team to the line, as Stewart's first shot is good. And so is the second. 4-point Mystics lead. Nihus over to Sanchez. Sanchez out to McDermott. McDermott going to slow things down. No need for the Mystics to rush a shot here. Keltos to McDermott. 6 seconds. McDermott drives to the basket. Doesn't drop, but she's going to head to the line after being fouled. So 2 big free throws here for Leah McDermott. First shot doesn't go. Second is good. Nothing but net on that one. A 5-point lead for the Mystics. We've got just under 30 seconds to play here in the fourth. Timeout is called. So the Manchester Mystics 29.3 seconds away from their first league win of the season. If they can hold on to this lead, put up a big defensive performance. When we come back on court, as the Wildcats will have the ball. And the Wildcats, having been led by Kayla Shaw, 36 points, 9 made threes. A huge effort from her. And Mari Stewart adding in 23 points as well. The Mystics having been led by Sam Keltos on 20 points and Abby Nihus and Shea Sanchez on 14. And thanks to everybody watching, commenting on the game. Shout out to Chloe Lyons and Peter Bradders supporting the Mystics. Feeling a bit nervous watching this one. So 29.3 to play. Mystics have a 5-point lead. It will be Nottingham ball. And if you're the Mystics, you have got to get out to Kayla Shaw. She has been so dangerous from 3-point range. As DeFalco gets the ball into Stewart. Stewart back to DeFalco. DeFalco knocked out by Keltos. 7 seconds on the shot clock and some great D from the Mystics. DeFalco on the inbound. And overshoots the pass. That is going to be a turnover for the Wildcats. Mystics get the ball back. 22.1 seconds to play. Table just checking something. We've had a few issues with some of the scoreboard and the shot clock in the venue this game. So just getting something sorted out, but we will have 22.3 seconds to play. Mystics have a 5-point lead. Keltos into Adeogun, gets it back. And we've started, but the clock hasn't started, and the shot clock hasn't started. Shot clock should be off. So they're just trying to readjust something here. And as that happened, there was a foul, so Adeogun is going to be at the line. So they're fixing the clock, putting time back on the clock. And Princess Adeogun will be at the line for 2. Not sure who that foul was on. That was on 5, DeFalco. As Adeogun, first shot rolls out. And second, no good. Keltos tips the rebound to Nihus. Nihus gets it over to McDermott. And we got another stoppage. So we got a substitution. Tatiana Sungani and Kira Belsham checking in for the Wildcats. So it is sideline at Mystics ball. I think there was an issue with the clock again. Coaches and table officials trying to figure out what's happening, as we all are. And Mark Jones and Pluto Voliotis just get an explanation from the refs. I think they look happy with that one. So it will be a Mystics sideline ball. 16.7 on the clock. Leah McDermott to inbound. Mystics have a 5-point lead. Into Adeogun. And she's going to be fouled by Whittington. Takes about a second off the clock. 15.3 left. So Princess Adeogun at the line. Imani Whittington was called for the foul. That will be her third. As Sungani checks out and Macy Cook comes back in for the Wildcats. Adeogun's first shot is no good. Second is good, puts the lead up to 5. 6. I'm very sorry, it's been a very difficult day so far. 6-point lead for the Mystics, 79-73, as we have a timeout. 15.3 seconds on the shot clock and the game clock. Coach Kenrick drawing up a play for the Wildcats team, and you've got to think it's going to go to either Kayla Shaw or Mari Stewart. Kayla Shaw has been an absolute dominant three-point shooter in the game today. 9 made threes for 36 points. Mari Stewart adding in 23. She's hit threes as well. And you've got to think, get the ball over the line, get a quick look from 3, get a quick shot, and then you need to get a stop if you're the Wildcats. For the Mystics, you don't want to foul. Keep your composure. Just play some tough defense. Knock that ball out of bounds. Get in the passing lanes if you can. And don't give up any easy shots. As I've said before, the Mystics are looking for their first league win of the season and currently have a 6-point lead over the Nottingham Wildcats. So it will be a sideline Nottingham ball. 15.3 seconds to play. And it's going to be Shaw on the inbound. Into Cook. Shaw gets it back. Shaw guarded by Keltos. Back to Cook. Picked up by Belsham. And that is a travel call. So ball will be back with the Mystics. 6.9 seconds to play. As DeFalco subs in. And Belsham heads to the bench. Keltos into Sanchez. And she draws the foul. So Nottingham looking to force the Mystics to win this one at the line. So Shea Sanchez at the line for 2. That foul was on Shaw, and that is her 5th, so she is out of the game for the last 4.4 seconds. Sanchez's first shot is good, takes the Mystics to 80. Second is also good. 81-73. Mystics lead. 3 seconds to go. The Falco round to Whittington. And that will do it. The Manchester Met Mystics get their first league win of the season behind 20 points from Sam Keltos and 16 from Shea Sanchez. 81-73 over the Nottingham Wildcats. Massive, massive credit to this team. It's been a really tough season for them. Injuries, players leaving. They've not had a full squad for the majority of the time they've played throughout this season, and they have kept their heads high, stayed positive, and stayed together as a team. And they've come out and got in the win column today. So massive congratulations to them. 81-73 over the Nottingham Wildcats. Sam Keltos with 20 points. 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks, and Shea Sanchez with 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists and 2 steals. Leading the way for the Nottingham Wildcats was Kayla Shaw with a fantastic 36 points on 9 made threes, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and Mari Stewart 16 rebounds to go along with her 23 points. A real great performance from this Wildcats team. A very depleted team, but the players that they have really stepped up and really gave the Mystics a run here, taking the lead late on in the third quarter as well. So massive credit to the Nottingham Wildcats. And they have got some great young players coming through their academy. So that will do it from the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. The Manchester Met Mystics 81, Nottingham Wildcats 73. We will see you next time.